Recording is on.
Actually, real kundi, ange anati mute mo. Um, let's mute everybody.
I can mute him from here.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Um, Unmute your mic if you want to speak.
Aha, sorry. So, once done, mumbai, mfazu kwa
This
manshasha.
room.
So, I'll just be mixing Tyap and
So
English so that, um, you know, um,
we can flow properly.
we will get there soon. The people
Yeah.
I know will be using just Tyap. So we're just about five of us here, and this meeting is being recorded, but not
Hmm?
going to be it's not going to be connected live on YouTube. So um, I'll just give us an overview of this very program. The but let me just share my screen, then I continue with the talking. I don't know. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So I think the
Yes, we are seeing it.
Yes, yes, we are seeing it.
okay. So let me change the browser. This one is Microsoft. It's not really giving giving the right. Um, okay, can you see this new screen showing Zilla Club Tier Wikimedia user group? New one screen one.
Nzili.
You are you are still on the Microsoft screen. That's what
Okay,
I'm seeing here.
okay. So let me stop sharing and then share again. Uh, so I was using all the this very meeting is connected to Microsoft, and this Microsoft is really not allowing I want to work on the whole thing very well. So let's see entire screen, then share. Okay, so can you see this young girl smiling?
Yes, she's
Yes,
not
yes,
just
yes.
smiling,
Okay,
but she's laughing as well.
she's plus smiling. So this is the Tyap Wikimedia's user group page on Meta. So if one is ready to go to the event page, Ananas project events and meetups, and then Kana Tata Kaji, not the planned events. Although after this event, we are going to move some of them up above this green background to signify that we have started. So this is the homepage of this very event. So this very second event is actually, or this very season two or 2025 edition is the second one after the first one that we held between 19th and 25 August 2025, and we had 12 participants. Even though among those 12 people, we had those of us who already are into the Wikimedia movement. But then in this very one, we hope to have more people who have not been in the movement, and then get them to be literate in Tyap language. As we can see in the objective session, the number one thing is to immerse the Tyap Wikimedians, both the old and the new ones, in the language, and then to create literacy um, in the Tyap language amongst participants. What this means is that if you don't know how to read and write in Tyap, you speak Tyap, then you are illiterate in Tyap. Absolutely. And if you can speak English, you can write in English, and you can read in English, you are literate. You speak Hausa, you write in Hausa, you read in Hausa, you are literate. You are literate in Hausa. But if you only speak the Tyap and you don't write it, then you can't be a literate person. And then also to build a Tyap speaking community with a high literacy rate in the language. And they also create connection between the young and elderly speakers of Tyap. What this means is that within our user group, within our bootcamp, we are not just going to have just people who are young or particularly of certain age brackets, but we are going to have them in different age brackets. We can have those who are between 18 and 25, and those between 25 and 34, and those between 34 and above. So we have people who have knowledge, not necessarily because they are elderly, but because they just understand the language better and they can write it. And we have elderly people who speak the language or who may not speak the language very well as much as younger people. So we are going to have a mix of different age brackets, and then to foster collaboration between the TIAP Wikimedia project and the TIAP Language Development Board and the project sponsors. The TIAP Wikimedia project is this very TIAP Wikimedia's user group that we push Wikimedia projects in the TIAP language and other related native languages. And then the TIAP Language Development Board, of course, we have our major instructor who is actually Akila Gungun, coming from the TIAP Development Board, who will be our main tutor, especially for the in-person sessions. And then for the online session, of course, the Wikimedians will take you on that. And then we have the project sponsors, which of course is Wikimedia Foundation itself, the very organization that gave us this platform to promote the language online and in person. And then also we have to produce more valuable editors for TIAB Wikipedia or Wikimedia projects in the TIAB language. It won't be good that we as attendees just see this one as a place to just socialize, not looking at what the project organizers and the project sponsors are looking at. The aim is that we want people that would know how to write in the language to contribute in the TIAP Wikipedia, to also contribute in the TIAP Wiktionary, that's the Sonaliad Wiki. So if at the end of the day we just have an event and we spend all the time, the effort, sleeplessness, plan the lectures, the lessons, even we have an elderly person from the TLDB sacrificing his time to come, he's not being paid for it. If at the end of the day we end up just taking it as a casual meeting that we'll just come and enjoy ourselves and just disappear without giving back what was given to us, then you see the aim has not been achieved and you are not becoming a valuable editor in this very case. So there are some editors that were present last year or in the last meeting that we may never pick them in this kind of an event because they were just there to enjoy themselves and then go home without giving back what they learned in the process. So we just hope that we that are here, we are not going to be the same kind of crop of people that just come and it is usually said that when you are having a relationship, the relationship is about you giving and then you also receiving. But then when we have a situation whereby you only collect and then you don't give back, uh, then you see we are having a kind of a parasitic relationship. I know what a parasite is. A parasite is a kind of animal, just like a mosquito, should I say, or is it a leech? A leech is a small animal that sticks on the bodies of animals, and then it sucks their blood, and then when it sucks, it it lives, or maybe until the animal dies before it also goes and find its next victim. So we are hoping that we are not going to have parasites among us that will just come and take all the lessons, and take all the fun available, and then we just go away and we don't give back to the Wikipedia project, or we don't give back to the Wiktionary project, or we don't even become teachers of the language. So that's what actually we are fighting against, and which is what the second to the last point, which is to produce valuable editors for Wikipedia projects means. And then the last point of the objective is to immerse the Tyap Wikimedia in editing Tyap Wikimedia projects. In this very event, that's why we have the Mentor Me program very close to the bootcamp. The Mentor Me program is to help you understand the basics of editing Wikimedia projects. While this very bootcamp is mainly meant for the language itself, nevertheless, in this very bootcamp, we will create time for practical classes, or practicals on editing Wikipedia project like the Wikipedia or Commons or Wiktionary, so that we can just have an all-encompassing program. Um, you know, so our strategic plan is what we followed to get to this very point that we are. And if you look at the event planning activities, you see that we have done the following, and this very point that says doing is where we are currently. And and then on the 15th of this very month, which is on Friday, we are going to start with the in-person program. So the 15th day is going to be on Friday, yes, and then on Saturday we are going to hold the online, or is it? Am I mixing it? So sorry. 15th is going to be online, actually. So for those of us who were selected for the in-person event within Kaduna, you make it to our office in, or to the venue of this very program, which is the AX1, which is AX1 Alio Makamas Road by Nara Junction, Bana, Kaduna. And one of the reasons also why we chose people only within Kaduna area is for us to cut costs. Whenever we have programs like this, we usually incur a lot of cost in terms of the transportation, in terms of the feeding, in terms of accommodation, like in the case of last year. So this year's event is still going to make us to incur a lot of cost, but then for the fact that we are getting people mainly from Kaduna to attend in person, that would help us to cut the cost of people coming from far away. And then those who are far away, not within Kaduna area, they can attend online. It's actually the same content you are still going to get, or they are still going to get. And those of us who are attending in person, you can also attend online, to get much more than you just getting it from one part and losing it on the other part. And also for those who are attending, you will see what we are doing. What we are doing, or we that are organizing the event, is not that we intend to organize these events forever on our own. We also want you to watch very closely and learn from what we do, so that someday you would also organize events like this, or we can be present, but then we would hand over the project to you to run. So you are not just attending uh, a language program or a literacy program. You are not just attending something to learn Wikimedia project editing. You're also learning how to also organize events yourself. You're also learning how to be a teacher yourself, both a teacher of the language. It doesn't mean that you must carry a chalk and then go to the classroom and begin to do R for for A for ang, B for boot, C for
Chat.
C for or D for so so
D for the dam.
the dampen and then E for A.
Uh, uh,
So what it actually means is that in this very program, I would also uh, urge us to wash away whatever you have known before now and have a new brain, because what we knew before is an analog kind of a system. What we knew before a kind of is a kind of what do you say, low self-esteem kind of a system. The system that was passed over to us from our parents is that of low self-esteem, in such a way that, or in such a situation whereby they never see themselves as equals to other people. They see themselves, or they see their language, their identity as a superior, or as an inferior something, something that cannot be measured with, let's say, the Hausa language or the English language. So if you think like that, when you come to this very boot camp, or before this very boot camp, from this very moment, just wash off whatever you have known. And what you should begin to think is that the language you speak is equal to any other language in the world. And if we have in the constitution that all human beings who are citizens in Nigeria here are equal before the law, at least what the constitution says, then that means everything that we own that is originally ours is equal and has to be equal. In other words, our language that we speak must be equal. Tyap should be equal to Hausa or Igbo or Yoruba, and none of those languages should look like a superior language to us. So we have to wash out whatever you have been, you have been thinking about before now, uh, um, and also begin to see ways to push your own language, to push your own identity to to the forefront, just as the government is pushing these other languages to the forefront. And in this very TAP language program, we are not having a situation whereby you only be a teacher in the language, just as I said before now. We have different ways of applying the knowledge that you have. Previously, what we used to hear is that, okay, if I learn TAP or if I study this language, even if it is Ju, for example, if it is here, how do I apply the language? This is 21st century, this is the AI generation. And in this very AI generation, the opportunities are immense for the languages that we speak, no matter what language you speak. So long as you are willing to put in your effort, we are willing to put in your knowledge, um, then you are going to find an application for it. Just yesterday, we gave gifts to those who participated in the Africa Wiki Challenge. This is Africa Wiki Challenge, not Tabla Wiki Challenge, not Nigeria Wiki Challenge, Africa. So what this means is that your language may be spoken in a particular location, but so long as you're a human being and your language is spoken by human beings, then your language has an application. There are opportunities both in the Wikimedia space and in the general global space. So put in your mind into this. Even personally, you can use the knowledge of your language to become a personal tutor. We have a lot of apps that helps you to teach your language online. There are people who are willing to learn Tiap, even white people. There are those who like reached out, you know, through WhatsApp, through Facebook. But then, because we don't have that platform where you can teach a person one on one, how do you do it? But then you can be able to create your personal classes Even on this app, what do you call this app now? The one we use for design. Mm, what do you call it? Uh, Canva. On Canva, Canva has yeah, yeah, Canva has a place for teaching. You can create your personal classes on Canva, and then you invite people all over the world who are interested in learning the language. It may not only be Tyap, it could be Ju, it could be Hiam, it could be Berom, or any other language. So the opportunities are immense, but you have to have the knowledge first because it is what you have that you give out. If you don't know how to write the language, then how do you teach it? So I will leave us uh, at this very moment. But then before I give the mic to Queer, I would also invite you to this very area, this very space, more details. Where you see more details, you can click on each of these very dates. They are clickable. When you click, you add it to your calendar. You add it to your calendar in order for you to remember that on so and so date, by so and so time, we are going to have a class. So you can just give it a name as you wish. Maybe you can just say Tier Wiki Bootcamp. This is actually the day two of the online session. So you can just do that and save it. So when the date comes, you are going to see the whole thing. You see, because I added this very event in my calendar, that's why it is showing the calendar, and they show the exact time as the time is traveled. That's the way this red line is going to be traveled. So whatever date you have the program is going to show in in your calendar according to what you picked. So with this, I will hand over the mic to Queer. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kamba. We appreciate that presentation. So, umzazi ngam mawad Canadian Shunkani. So, based on what we had so far, this is just to prepare our minds based on what we should expect as regarding the bootcamp. Because, for this bootcamp, we had quite a number of people, over almost 40 people, if not more, that applied for this bootcamp. But we have to carefully pick this number or this particular people, which you happen to be one of it. So we have a lot of people, but we are actually working with only 12. We selected only but few, like 12 out of 40 applicants. So it doesn't mean that the other 28 that were not selected are not good enough, but we selected these numbers very carefully. And please, I would like us to take advantage of this particular boot camp. It is not just to benefit we as the organizers, but it will benefit you as an individual, as a person.